All right, thanks everybody. It's always hard to end the day sometimes, and it's always good to know to kind of also read the room here. Well, hello again. We have just a couple wrap-up items from the evaluation side, and I'm going to hand it again over to Samuel in a minute. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for contributing and all the time, and your questions, your insights, your passion, your heart, and the emotion that comes with such an important and relevant topic for all of us, for where we live and breathe, right? And drink our water here. If we go back to the purpose for today, I was going back looking again. The emphasis for this conference was to understand, to respond, and to act to protect communities. What we want to hear and what we learned from you all is what are ways that that this conference and this work together, this learning helped you understand? How might it help you respond? And then again, how might it help you act? So what we'll be doing, we mentioned it a little bit before, is just you'll see a follow-up survey. We were able to capture some of this, but what we're trying to do, and as a partner with this work, is to pull together those needs from communities, from our local areas, reflect those needs back, and you saw the title for this one is Opportunities, right? What we're hearing from you all, and Samuel will go through some of this, are those opportunities to bring the resources, the learning, the research, the advancement of the funding to those areas in need and timely, right? It's not a wait and see, this is what can we do now. So I'm going to hand it over to Samuel just to walk through a little bit of what we heard from you. So thank you again for that contribution. And then again, how we're going to take that learning, share it back, and then again, get the resources out. So again, thank you again, and here you go, Samuel.
Thanks, Tricia. So I was able to get your responses up here. So that's what you're looking at now. This is what you all filled in during lunchtime. And as I just sort of slowly scroll through here, you can take a look at what you're all thinking and what your needs are. This slide, I think, sums up two big needs that I heard throughout the day: money and regulation, right? This is coming up now in a couple of your comments of what your community needs. Like Tricia mentioned, there's going to be more opportunity for you to participate in a needs assessment for this. So we will be sending out a post-conference survey asking you a lot of these same questions. What do you need? What do you need to learn more about? What resources do you need? What can we do to help support you on this journey? We are going to be looking to do some case study evaluation work of some of the communities that have faced this journey and are facing it now. And we want to learn from you about what's worked for you. What would you share with other communities that are facing this for the first time, right? So how can we come together and support that collective action to try to get to the goals of zero, like Cindy said earlier? So I'll just kind of scroll through here. There's about 10 of these, so I won't get to them all, but what we will be doing is synthesizing this together and helping Fred and others on the planning committee understand this is broadly what people were saying and how many times they said it. So again, they can have a priority of this is where people are at and this is what we can then do the next time we bring people together. I'm really glad to see this one here. I think it's, let's see, on this side. Yep, on that side. So the tribal communities needs testing of treaty protected resources. I think that tribal voice was missing from today. I didn't hear that, but I think it's incredibly important to be understanding that there are a lot of different communities in Wisconsin, and we want to make sure that all those communities are together on this issue. So I'm glad that that was mentioned in here. So I just encourage you, as you're reading through this and as you're driving home to wherever the home is, that you think about, again, what did I learn today? What was something that is going to stay with you? What's something you want to share with others that weren't able to be here today? And then what's really important is, what are we going to do about this now? So what actions can we take? And those actions can be, we need to learn more, or those actions can be, we need to stand up and fight, right? I mean, this issue is going to be addressed from a lot of different places and with a lot of different effort. And your role in that is incredibly important. All of us have a part to play in this. I think a lot of these topics were talked about today. I think a lot of these things were things that we've already talked about, right? And to see people needing these it affirms that this was an important conference to pull together, but it certainly tells us we're just scratching the surface and starting this process. All right, well, there's a couple more slides there. Like I said, we will get all of this information synthesized. We will be sending it back out to everyone who registered. We'll make sure that we share this with you. These are your needs, they're our needs, but we want to make sure that everyone is aware of what they are. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Fred for the conclusion of the day.
But thank you, Samuel. Thank you. We just want to first really thank again all the partners that have been part of making the program work today. And it's not quite over, but the good news is we're actually going to get out of here early. And all of us can go out and find a ray of sunshine, perhaps for the first time in days. But thanks to Samuel and Tricia and the contributions that staff at UW Extension have contributed, because not only do they have a lot of expertise in running conferences, but they have a lot of expertise around issues of assessment and evaluation and things that are going to be really helpful for us going forward with the conversations that have been started today. I'm going to offer a couple of thoughts, and then the closing comments to really tie this together will be by Chairman of the Wisconsin Counties Association, Lance Pliml. But one thing that I heard, if I was leading a small community, which I'm not doing at the time, but as an organization, this is what we think about. We need to be evaluating possible sources for PFAS in our community. Where are the most likely places that might be at risk? We heard clearly and loudly today the need for transparency and testing and reporting and getting that information out there, even when we have unknowns. But I think the other thing that came out loud and clear was all of us in communities need to be planning ahead for contingencies. What if? What are we prepared to do? How do we prepare for the things that might happen in the future if you happen to be in one of those communities in that 20%. Preparing now and building the relationships now will help that eventual response, if you're forced to make it, be so much more effective and potentially less chaotic and less of a crisis. So today felt like drinking out of a fire hose for many of you, perhaps. It certainly did for me. And I want to just call attention to a couple things. One is in your handouts, the PFAS resource guide that our contaminants team put together. There's basically a wealth of links in there, and my suggestion would be, and something that I'm going to be doing, is going home and starting to read. Pick the topics that are really critical or present for you, and dive in and start to read a little bit more. I think that may be one of the best ways to make some of this information stick. We also learned a lot about partners and resources, and we're going to make available the presenters' information that was provided today for all of you, so that you'll all have the ability to follow up with the folks who spoke, and keep that conversation going so you know where to turn when you have questions of your own. Finally, there's also a piece in your package today that details Governor Evers' budget proposal that Secretary Payne mentioned and that others mentioned today. That, as you know, the state budget is in play right now, and whether those dollars remain in the state budget at the end of the day will depend in large part on what citizens do to make the case for that use of state funding. So pay attention to what's there and act accordingly. Many, many thanks to all of our speakers today who did an excellent job, and our sponsors, the Counties Association, the Towns Association, Madison Met Sewer District, and the Wisconsin County Solid Waste Management Association. We appreciate the support. It's the reason we were all able to be here, and look for information going forward as we put the results of this conference together, as well as the recordings that have been prepared by Wisconsin Eye and Wausau Public Access. Thank you for being here throughout the day. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lance Pliml, who is going to close us out and send us home. Oh, sorry. Food. There's a bunch of boxes, PFAS line boxes on that table over there. They do not have a home. Please take a lunch home if you have an ability to use it. And likewise, take cookies on the table over there so they get used tonight. Thanks.
Thanks. We're going to take some home to analyze. I promise no technical information, and we'll get you out of here on time because my parking meter expires at 3:42, I think it said when I got my ticket when I came out here today. From the Counties Association perspective, we couldn't be happier, more thrilled to be able to participate, to be part of a sponsor, part of this particular day. The information, as Fred alluded to, is like drinking out of a fire hose. I promise there'll be nothing technical coming out of my mouth today. But we do face a monumental challenge. This is something that comes along basically, once in a lifetime for many of us. And we're going to need to engage with, collaborate, cooperate with numerous partners. And we have people here from, the Towns Association, from the Counties Association. I recognize a lot of the faces in the room. And we're really lucky to have the Secretary of the DNR, Adam Payne, here. And Adam isn't somebody who's just being named the Secretary of the Department. He's somebody who's solved problems at a county level for many, many years. I'll get in trouble for saying this because I'm kind of one, but not your typical, let's say maybe bureaucrat, sits in an office. Some people ask me, what do I do every day? I put out fires, not with foam, but just fires. But Adam's somebody who's had the opportunity to address those on a granular level. He's solved problems for years, and Adam, we're thrilled to death to have you as a partner as we move forward in this. If you currently don't have a PFAS issue in your community, your county, and we don't particularly in Wood County, where I'm the county board chair, if you don't, it's coming to you soon. I mean, everybody's going to see this. This is not just an urban issue, it's a rural issue as well. It's something that we're going to have to learn to treat, to abate. We're going to have to eliminate, and the best way to deal with it is prevention, just strictly prevention. And then from a Counties Association standpoint, one of the things that we are really good at is identifying extremely bright people that deal with extremely complex problems. And at our invitation today, you had Steve Aquario, who's a longtime acquaintance of mine from New York, and Aaron Dickinson. These are two of the brightest people I've ever met, outstanding speakers. They're a tremendous resource. Use them. Contact Steve Aquario in New York at the New York Association of Counties, NISAC, or Aaron Dickinson. Aaron was instrumental in the amount of money that we have received in this state in the opioid litigation. Now, litigation's a last resort. It's not where we necessarily want to be. But at the end of the day, somebody's got to pay for some of this. And she's been, like I said, instrumental in a lot of these settlements across the country, certainly in the state of Wisconsin, and I would, ask you to use her. Again, so we greatly appreciate the opportunity. I've been part of the program today. All of this information, I understand, is going to be available on slides. We will continue to work together. I know I mentioned a number of people in this room and other organizations. Mayor Rosenberg from Wausau sits on our Local Government Institute Board of Directors, and that's another organization that may take this issue on as we look to the future. So again, thank you very much. Thanks for being here. I wish everybody safe travels on the way home. Enjoy the rest of the day, and thank you for coming. Thanks.